Hi, everybody. Welcome to another episode of Dr. Cammy and Karen Go Keto, where we're talking about our transition into a low-carb, ketogenic, or carnivore lifestyle. And this is a lifestyle thing we're working on forever, which means we are working on a lot of looking at how we cope with other things in our life that center around food, like feelings and emotions and being comforted and being uncomfortable with certain situations. And I am here to report that I had a big binge on September 16th. I did keep track of my stats. I was hoping this wasn't going to happen again, but it did. And I ate 2,483 calories. The breakdown of the grams was 119 grams of protein, 241.5 grams of fat, and 467 grams of carbohydrates. The interesting thing about this binge was that I did not have a huge tip-off as to why it happened, specifically something that triggered it to happen. But the good thing about the binge was that I knew about 3 or 4 days ahead of time that I was getting very agitated and very upset and uncomfortable about things and that it was coming. I knew that it was coming. I thought one of the reasons why was because I knew I hadn't had a binge for a while, so I looked at the days of how long it had been, and it had been, I think, about 23 days. And that was the longest I had gone in a long time for a binge. So I think part of me was like, oh my gosh, it's been so long. And my eating disorder conversation was like, it's been long enough. It's time to do it. And another reason why was because I was having some resentments against some people and things that were going on in my life that I didn't clear up with confrontational conversations or just conversations in general. And so, yeah, it happened. And I'm looking forward to reaching out for help in those few days ahead of time when I know that it's going to be happening if I feel that way again. So I'm clean. I'm clean.
All right. So I do have the list of what the binge was. And it seems like, and I hope this doesn't trigger anybody. So if anybody's triggered by sweet food, then turn off the sound. Okay. Here's the list of food. I'm going to keep my thumb up while the list of food is being read. Cherry pie, peanut butter cookie, Doritos with Cool Ranch Doritos. Pizza, 2/3 of a pizza or 2/3 of a slice? I'm guessing 2/3 of a pizza. Oatmeal cookie, Lay's potato chips, Ben & Jerry's ice cream. That's a whole pint of Ben & Jerry's ice cream. Diet Coke, an ice cream cone from McDonald's. All right, no more food. So I still don't think that sounds like one of your worst binges.
It was pretty bad because I hadn't had one in a while, and I do want to say that I didn't finish a couple of items, and I didn't finish the pizza, and I woke up at 3:00 and finished those last couple of items and the pizza, and then I proceeded to eat off plan for the next 2 days, which weren't severe. This is binge, but we're not on plan. So it's a long time getting back for me. Now I am eating healthy, low-carb, ketogenic foods. I am on a conference right now on neuro-linguistic programming. It's absolutely fabulous. I did bring my scale, but today I did not measure and weigh my food, but I ate healthy. So it's taking me time to get back into my regular healthy routine.
So what is the conversation? Do you want to have a conversation about, because you said you didn't notice a trigger and it was 3 to 4 days. So this is what I find interesting about the transitioning into a ketogenic carnivore lifestyle, is that we've talked about a lot of tools that we have in place. And, 4 to 4 days beforehand, you should have been using those tools and maybe trying to avoid the binge. So maybe your conversation, it sounds to me like your conversation was, I want to have a binge. And then that conversation becomes deeper as to why would you want to have a binge when your commitment is to transitioning? I mean, clearly transitioning it means just that we're moving from one spot to another. Certainly you've gone for a longer time, right? You did 23 days instead of 2 weeks. So your transition time is lengthening between binges. But when you sent me the picture of the food that you ate, which is many days, I think, after the binge, or at least a couple days after the binge, and you sent me the screenshot of your list, and then you said final binge ? So my question to you is this. The picture before that you sent to me was a picture of your cat in a drawer. And if I had asked you to caption that picture, what would you have said?
Probably would have said something like Charlie helping me put away my clothes.
Okay. So that's Charlie putting away helping you put away your clothes, or at least watching you put away your clothes. If I said, "Is that a cat in the drawer?" If I had captioned it, I would have said, "My cat in a drawer." Okay, because Charlie's laying in a drawer. It's very cute. But in your binge picture, you sent final binge ? Like even that conversation is, I don't know if I'm done with my binge. I don't know if I'm done with my binge eating. And that's an indication to me. You know for a certainty that that's Charlie in a drawer. You don't know for a certainty if that's your final binge. And who gets to say except for you?
Nobody. It's me that gets to say. And that's my way of leaving the door open. And I think that there are shoulds around my binges. Like, I should not be doing this. But part of the rebel in me likes to do it anyway and likes to say, screw you, I'm going to do it anyway. Now, it turns out that the person that I'm screwing is myself because I'm staying heavy or unhealthy or whatever it is that I'm doing. And so you're absolutely right, Karen. It has to do with the conversation that I have around it. And what we were talking about earlier today before we went on camera about how I struggle sometimes to be with what is, to be an acceptance.
Now, what if you had written to me on that caption and said, "Here's my final binge"? How does that resonate with you?
That makes me very scared because I'm going to have to figure out other ways to deal with feelings and emotions that come that make me want to soothe myself through food and my sugar high that I get. That makes mostly frightened, scared and frightened, and also a little angry that, I'm taking away that option that's been so comforting and soothing for me for so long, since I was like 3.
But it really hasn't.
Right. After I say that, that all kind of like bullshit, doesn't it? Like, it's a bunch of bullshit, and I don't really believe that.
You certainly get a feeling. Yeah, it's really listening to your, this is why one of the tools is journaling, right? Or talking to somebody, talking to a coach or a friend, because yeah, it's not like you don't get something out of being able to, just step away from reality and, be numb to everything because you're in, a sugar coma. But that doesn't take away that the binge itself is, recognize the detrimental effect that the binge has when in its aftermath, right? So, all right, so let's talk about something else about the binge in our next video. How about?
Okay, sounds good. Maybe we can talk about reality and accepting what is.
All right. See you guys. We're going to do another one to follow up.
Take
Thanks for
care, guys.
watching. Subscribe and like. Have a great day.